Everyone, Glenn Sanford here, and welcome to the Expansion Podcast. Today, I'm excited to talk to Erik Peterson. He's in Williston, North Dakota, a very populous market, and he's knocked out of the park. He's three-time icon. Did a ton of sides last year and the year before. And when I say a ton, I'll let him share the numbers. But he's built really a great business in, I think, both North Dakota and a little bit of Montana. So Erik, welcome to the Expansion Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm a big fan of EXP and as well as yours.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it. Appreciate you. You're in a unique market. Thinking about it, most people are likely, in more populous towns and other communities, and you figured out how to actually build a pretty significant business in two states that are not the most populous states in the country, but you've done really well. So maybe could you tell me a little bit about your journey into real estate? How did you get to where you're at? What does your business look like today? And then we'll get to one of the questions, which is why EXP?
Yes, thank you so much. I spent 15 years as a financial advisor prior to getting into real estate. I grew up in Missoula, Montana. Both of my parents had real estate license and kind of dabbled in it, but my parents had a commercial building that they ran their furniture business out of. So I was really involved painting it, getting it set up. So I knew about real estate. I got into financial advising because I loved the markets and the finances and using my brain and experience to help people with their money. And in 2010, when the economy was falling out from the 2008 through 10 meltdown, one of my best friends went bankrupt. So we bought a semi truck in 2010 in North Dakota because that was the only place to make money. And then after a few months, we started doing so well, I sold my financial practice the next year. We got into trucking and basically anything that we could do to make money out here. And it wasn't until we bought a piece of property, sold it before we closed on it, and profited almost $1 million without even owning the dirt that I realized that real estate made a lot of sense. I started speaking across the country on these Bakken investment conferences and seminars and helped developers from all over the world actually come to our small town of Williston, North Dakota, develop projects, build out projects. And through that process, I decided to get my real estate license because I was mad that everybody else was making all the money for me putting together and networking. So got my license about a decade ago. And then immediately the market crashed. Oil went to $20 a barrel. Things just fell apart. And at that point, it was the worst time to get into real estate. So if people are worried about where the economy and the market is today and what the future looks like with all these NAR settlement challenges, not only was our market slow in the 15 through 16 downturn, we also had to live through COVID where oil went negative $38 a barrel and everybody couldn't buy here. So we've actually seen two downturns in a decade. And through that process, we just had to learn to think outside the box in a small market. And you have to do a little of everything when you're in a population base of 50,000. I've done everything from sell dirt to lease RV spaces, sold a meat processing plant one time and a Jehovah Witness church the next day. And so we built a little team of like-minded individuals here that aren't afraid of the cold, aren't afraid to work, and are good, fantastic people. And we're just really grateful for what we have.
Well, awesome. Well, so what type of production are you doing? What does your team look like? I think, I did a quick search. It looked like, at least according to Wikipedia, Williston's like a town of 27,000 people, plus or minus.
Yep.
So how, what does that all look like?
Yeah, so it's 27 to 30,000 people that are here. We've got a lot of transitional workers that come to work in the oil field that are renting apartments or townhomes. So helping them get into houses has really been a big boom for us. Our current team size is we have about 26 on the team now. 3 more agents are currently studying, looking to join our team. Of that, we have 13 support staff. We went to your shareholder summit a few years ago. We needed leverage. We had lost a few agents. And so we went to a breakout session that you guys had there for Sphere Rocket. We ended up hiring 4 virtual assistants from the Philippines. They do all of our operations, our marketing. They're absolutely fantastic. We have now 8 full-time virtual assistants out of the Philippines, 4 more on the operations side as well. So that's really the core of our group. It helps free our agents up, give them more time, obviously, to be doing the things that make us money. And of the 12 producing agents we had, last year we were fortunate enough in a slower year, we did 185 sides and 72 million in sales.
Wow. Congratulations. That's amazing. So now you have a unique, what sounds like a unique marketing plan, a unique niche that's really been the backbone of your business. Is that still the case today, or is it? Are you approaching sales in a more traditional way?
Yeah. So obviously, in this year with tight inventory and interest rates up, we were we were looking forward to getting about to the same levels as we did last year. We've actually closed to date 193 sides, 57 million, and we have 36 more pendings with another 17 million. And so in our market, we just cast a wide net. We do whatever it takes to get our clients into properties, whether it's land or big industrial buildings. And then we're just trying to crank on before winter. We don't have a second home market. There's no Airbnbs. There's not a big population center. Nobody typically moves to North Dakota because they want to, live a nice, luxurious life. But a lot of people leave in the wintertime. So we've just got to be able to work hard in the fall and then kind of slow down a little bit over winter and regroup.
Okay, awesome. Now, what would you say has been, in the hats that you wear in growing your business, and think about marketing? Well, just use between marketing and sales, and then let's go marketing, sales, or operations. Those 3 things. What hats do you spend more time wearing, and why?
Yeah, great question. The first thing that I learned in successful business being a financial advisor is you've got to be able to leverage to somebody else on all the things that you're not good at, which for me is paperwork, any of the regulatory stuff, all of the back end. So about 6 years ago, I hired who's become one of my best friends, Cammie. She does operations. She's out of Western Washington. She's the one that does all the hiring, the training, does financials. She helps on the back end to then free me up on the sales side. And then I handle our marketing as well with the help of 5 individuals out of the Philippines.
Okay, excellent. So would you say then that so she runs your operations? Where does I assume you also hold the strategy role for your team? Is that, would that be fair?
Yeah, that's right. So I've got the 30,000 foot view. I then send any of my crazy ideas to her. She runs them through, a stress test and then tells me if I'm not making good decisions or not. She's not afraid to tell me no. And then together we've just formed this dynamic duo, which has been really fun and then allowed us to attract really cool agents, and helping them get into houses and build careers has been really rewarding. So I would say myself, I spend 50% on the personal sales side, as that helps drive our business model, about 40% on coaching other agents and helping them out, doing one-on-ones and team trainings. And then the rest of it is just networking for more agents and more business.
Okay, awesome. Now, how has your business sort of shifted over time? How has your marketing focus, or for all intents and purposes, the strategy shifted over time? I'm still thinking about, in my mind, I'm going, you're out there, you've built obviously a great business. It's real estate's a competitive industry, but somehow you figured out a way to really get what I refer to as an unfair share of the marketplace.
Yeah, it is. We're lucky to be here. To me, if you look at the Warren Buffetts of the world and the really successful investors of all time, when everybody else is running for the exits, they're running in. And that's been our theory. When our market slows down, we double or triple our advertising budgets. We want to pick up as much market share as we can. We're always pushing the envelope, adding new members of the marketing team. And we found a partnership with YLOPO. They've been good with the Follow Up Boss platform just to attract business that we wouldn't have received before. We are kind of in the sticks up here, obviously. And so there's not many competitors that use really advanced marketing. And so that's been our focus to obviously bring people into the funnel, give them a high level of customer service, and then set up a whole bunch of workflows and systems to help guide them through the real estate transaction to the end.
Awesome. So you're using YLOPO. Does that also include the IDX, and then you're using Follow Up Boss on the back end? Is that the way it works?
Yes, correct. Yeah, YLOPO does all of our marketing and retargeting. There's a lot of really new cool AI features they're working on. And then all that dumps into Follow Up Boss. And then from there, we've got 2 full-time ISAs. And then the agents will get in there as well to nurture and call prospects and clients.
Okay, awesome. Well, with such a large team size, and maybe this comes back to your ops manager, how are you? What are your team standards, and how are you holding your agents accountable to those team standards? You mentioned being involved in coaching, so I suspect
Yep.
you or coach a lot around that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So out here, it's the oil field. So there's a lot of part-time agents that used to have a job in the oil field. They're still hustling. That market has been so good here recently on the oil side that it's tough to get everybody in on the full time. A lot of our agents, their spouses work in the oil field as well too. So it's pretty cyclical in nature. And so just trying to meet them where they're at, whether they only have 5 hours a week or up to full time, helping give them the resources. And then realistically, what we want to do is we want to take off all of the heavy lifting that our agents have to do, and realistically, all the things that they're bad at. And then we have somebody that's on the back end doing that for them. The marketing, the personal branding, the operations, the transaction coordination, the writing up contracts, all of that stuff we handle for the agent to free them up to get on the field out there and do more business.
Awesome. You mentioned AI relative to YLOPO. What have you guys been doing with AI in your business?
Yeah, I would say YLOPO is kind of the forefront of what we're doing with AI. They have been fantastic to re-engage clients that are looking at properties, clicking on them. They have a lot of really advanced algorithms that run on the backside. And then recently they came out with this program called Maverick that allows our agents in real time to have AI conversations with leads. And they've got over 60 different modules. So our agents will get on there. They'll pick, let's say, a for sale by owner. They'll go back and forth on the training through AI, just like a real conversation. And then they could do that on their own time. It's really advanced. And then it actually gives them feedback on how much time they were talking. What else should they have said? Gives them a score and a rating on each call to help them have real-time practice. So that way, when our newer agents need to get on the phone to have those conversations with real bodies, they're trained, ready to go.
Oh, awesome. Good stuff. So I'm guessing your favorite CRM is probably Follow Up Boss. Is that
Yes, sir.
Or do you have a different one?
Yeah, we used to use some of the other ones, but Follow Up Boss has been the best for us. It just syncs with so many other programs that we use, and yeah, it's been great. Nothing but good things heading forward.
Okay, cool. How are you staying up to date with all the changes going on in the industry, whether it be market trends, technology, what have you?
Yeah, obviously being in North Dakota, we don't get a lot of people up here, right? So you got to go find the trainings. So I usually go to 4 or 5 masterminds related to investing in real estate a year, Scottsdale, all over the country. And then I watch a ton of YouTube videos from some of the experts and the pros. Obviously, EXP has done a phenomenal job educating us through this NAR settlement challenge. And then just really when I'm out there, when I'm driving to client meetings, or even when I'm at the gym, I always have a podcast in related to real estate on how we can get better. And really a big fan of Ricky Carruth as well. I think he really just breaks it down. And so we've implemented a lot of what he's trained us through YouTube. And I love the fact that most of his trainings are free.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, he's got a really unique business model of pay it forward, pay it forward, pay it forward.
Yes.
And it's obviously a really an amazing program, his Zero to Diamond program. So Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to unpack in this particular episode. I think I could probably spend another, 30, 40, well, multiple hours actually, probably kind of trying to dissect what you're doing. But if there was like one piece of advice that you would give to an EXP agent, what would that be?
Yeah, I would say the first thing, if you really want to create a long-term career in a business, is find leverage in your life. That was my secret when I had a great financial practice. It's been our secret in real estate. You can't be the jack of all trades and be good at everything. So as soon as it's humanly possible, find somebody to help out with your paperwork, your operations, your networking, the things that you necessarily don't have time for. Find somebody else that's better at it for you. Lots of really good options out there, especially with virtual assistants that you could add to your team for $5 to $6 an hour.
Oh, awesome. And you mentioned you've been leveraging quite a bit the Sphere Rocket platform and Justin Nelson's
Yep.
enablement platform.
Yeah, that's right. We've hired 8 through them. Obviously, just like hiring American employees, some are better than others. But from our original hire, we have 2 of the original 4. And then through that process, they've helped us attract, hire them, systems, and they've been really good.
How do you stay? The question on this and is how do you stay engaged with your VAs so that they feel part of the team and they don't feel like a VA? Is there anything that you've done that has solved for that, or is it literally you send a task, they return a task?
Yeah, really a great question. We had to bring leverage into that part of our aspect as well. Our VAs were really, especially bringing them on, were needing a lot of stuff early. That was taking time away from Cammie, my right-hand gal, to help out with everything. So we actually hired my daughter. She came to a Sphere Rocket event down in Scottsdale. She lives in Phoenix. She's now our international team manager. So she meets with them every single day, 10 o'clock local time. She has conversations with them. They all know their tasks. And then they have a Slack channel that works really well for communication. And then she's helped push them personally and professionally to be better and more efficient. And then she handles all that. So now top down, whenever we need a task, if I see a video, I'll just be like, okay, this is what we want to recreate. We send it to her. She then divvies it up to the marketing team. And then from there facilitates all of the operations.
Oh, great stuff. That's by the way, what you just described is probably something that takes a long time for people to figure out, which is that in order to really build a team that is high performing, you have to check in with them every single day in order to keep them focused. It's good. They need it, and then you need it too to be fully engaged and present. And you figured out how to do that. So congratulations.
Thank you. And absolutely. And the other thing I would say to that is at 9 a.m. every day, we do a Google Meet with all the agents. I want to see their faces first thing. We talk about motivation. Today, we talked about what are your goals for the week? What's your daily activities look like? How can we hold you accountable? And then more specifically, what do you need help with that the group can help you either close the deal, land the listing, or just keep, transactions on the rails.
Awesome. Good stuff. So it sounds like you got a really, really solid team. Everybody's highly engaged, and which is probably leads to why you're having such great success. Erik, thank you so much for sharing today. This has been really good for me to hear. By the way, you may or may not have heard, obviously, with some of the changes that have been going on. One, obviously, Leo Perea has been knocking out of the park as the CEO of EXP Realty at large. I've jumped in on the international side, and I've been rolling my sleeves up. So you're getting somebody who's actually back in as an operator, talking to you and asking you these questions because I'm in the thick of it, helping our international team scale and grow. So that's where a lot of this is coming from. So
yeah, well, good
luck. But again, Erik, thank you so much for. Go ahead.
Thank you. I was just wondering if you had time for my favorite Glenn Sanford story, right?
Sure. What is your favorite Glenn Sanford story? I'm curious.
Yeah. So we were down at Universal Studios, where, by the way, which was a fantastic party, private party. My girlfriend and I had just gone through the Men in Black ride where you're shooting up all these aliens and everything else. She, of course, beat me. I was mad. And then all of a sudden we went to get off and I saw you coming in. And then you sat right in front of us. We got to drive around the car. And so to me, I was going to get retribution by beating our CEO and score higher than you. I'm pretty competitive that way. And you just absolutely smoked us. You shot so many targets, doubled all of our score. And I was like, that guy cannot be good at everything. So anyway, great memory and really appreciate that.
Awesome. Oh, thanks, Erik. No, I appreciate it. No, it's one of those ones that back earlier in life, it says that I never had on my vision board, which was rent out Universal Studios theme park for a company event. That was
phenomenal.
Awesome. Well, Erik, hey, thanks again for jumping on. I think you have a website. It's provenrealtynd.com, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
And so check that out. Connect with Erik on Workplace. I assume you're okay if somebody reaches out. And
absolutely, would love to help anybody we can to talk about our systems and processes and whatever we could do to help you build your business.
Good stuff. Well, thanks again, and everyone, thanks for jumping on and listening to this podcast. It's been a great learning experience for me, and hopefully for you too. So with that, I'm going to sign off.
Thanks
again.